Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is moving closer towards the next major level of resistance as the price is still playing out this bullish price target, at least for now, while Ethereum is getting extremely close to the next major move in the short term. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, the super trend indicator on this time frame is still sitting in the red, and this would only flip back into the green if we see a confirmed breakout back above around 70,000, give or take. So at least for now, this chart has not really changed over the last one day. And if we're taking a look at the 2-day Bitcoin chart, at least for now, the price of Bitcoin is still within this bearish trend on the slightly larger time frames. But of course, during this larger bearish trend, we can see short-term bullish trends or short-term bullish reliefs during the larger bearish trend. And while the price of Bitcoin is playing out this larger bearish trend, we're also forming a massive descending broadening wedge pattern, which can potentially be a bullish pattern with a bullish price target if we actually confirm a breakout above this resistance, which we are getting closer towards. And this resistance is sitting at around 68,500 approximately. So we need to see at least a candle close on this time frame, ideally on the 2-day time frame here, above around 68,500 in order to actually confirm a breakout and set up a major bullish price target, which would likely be sitting above $80,000. But once again, only if we see a confirmed breakout above this resistance at around 68 to 69,000. And so at least for now, while the price is still sitting below this resistance, technically we're still within this larger bearish trend, because for all we know, we could potentially still see a rejection before breaking out here. That is still a possibility that we need to consider, like what we saw just here, for example, or just here, for example. But obviously in the shorter term, we're still looking bullish. As I've been saying over the last few days, we're still seeing a short-term bullish relief during the larger bearish trend. That is the current situation, at least for now, and potentially one of the reasons as to why we've seen a lot of bullish price action as of recent, just in the short term for the price of Bitcoin, is likely due to the fact that the DXY or US dollar index has been crashing to the downside just recently. And usually when the DXY is crashing, that is often very bullish for the price of Bitcoin, especially as we saw right here around November and December last year. And if we're looking at what the Bitcoin price actually did during that time period where we saw this major crash in the DXY, from that high to low in the DXY, if we're looking at the price of Bitcoin from where the high was in the DXY right here, Bitcoin was sitting at approximately 27 to 28,000. And then if we're looking at the low in the DXY and looking at where Bitcoin was right there, Bitcoin pumped to around 43,000. So we're talking about a move from around 27,000 to 43,000. And obviously just recently, in recent days and weeks, we've seen a similar sized crash in the DXY as to what we saw back here, but we're only just beginning to see a lot more bullish price action in the short term for the price of Bitcoin. And so once again, as I've been saying here on the channel, even before that latest bullish move that we saw just a few days ago, at least for now, this DXY is a bullish signal to pay attention to, at least in the short term as of right now. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, as of right now, we're still struggling around this level of resistance, sitting at around 64,500. And obviously, I've been warning about over the last few days that we still have some resistance at around 64,500. But if we see a confirmed breakout with a daily candle close, for example, back above 64.5K, then in that case, our next major area of resistance is sitting in between around 67,000 to 68.3K. And honestly, once we see a breakout above that area on the chart, if we can actually finally break out back above around 68.3K, ideally back above around 69,000, basically, once we get above that area on the chart, then we can finally flip a lot more bullish again, not only in the short term, but for the larger trend and momentum on the larger time frames. We can finally flip a lot more bullish on these larger time frames if we see a confirmed breakout above this resistance. But until then, we can only really be bullish in the shorter term, not necessarily the larger momentum or larger trend as of right now. And as for support, in case we see a further rejection from this resistance at around 64,500, in that case, we should expect some support close close to 63,000 and around 62.9k, so just below 63,000, acting as support. And below that level, we also have more support in between around 60,000 to 61,000. And if we're zooming into the short term, looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, at least as of right now, this bullish breakout for this ascending triangle pattern is still technically active with a bullish price target in play, which I mentioned in my last video here on the channel. But if we're measuring out that technical price target once again, as of right now, we do technically have a price target for this breakout right here for this ascending triangle pattern at around 69,500 approximately. And this bullish price target for this breakout right here for the ascending triangle pattern would only be invalidated if we see a confirmed break with candle closes back below the point of the breakout. So basically, if we break back below around 61.8k, then that would invalidate this bullish price target altogether. And so for the bulls out there, at least in the short term, it is important to remain above this level on the chart. That is a critical level, at least in the short term, for the price of Bitcoin. And when it comes to my Bitcoin trading strategy right now, at least as of right now, I'm still in a very small Bitcoin long position, which I actually entered a little while ago, all the way back around here, which I shared here on the channel back then. But as of right now, it's still a very small Bitcoin long position because I actually closed a decent amount of the trade right back around here. And so as I explained in my last video, if we see some sort of retesting the breakout level and potentially see some sort of bounce from that level, if we see something like that play out, then I'll take that opportunity to accumulate a larger long position, basically add much more to that Bitcoin long position. If we see some sort of retest, perhaps pulling back down towards around 62 to 62,500, give or take, anywhere around there, personally, I'll be looking to add to my Bitcoin long position. If that happens, I'm not saying that will happen. I'm saying if it happens, I'll take that opportunity. But as always, nothing that I say is personal financial advice because I don't know your personal financial situation. I'm just simply letting you know what I'm planning to do with my own money. And when it comes to trading Bitcoin and crypto, personally, I take just about all of my trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a massive lucky draw happening right now over on Bybit, where you could potentially win up to $100,000 or potentially some free Bitcoin or Ethereum or USDT or trip to an F1 race just by trading crypto using the link down below this video. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and as of right now, honestly, we don't really have a major level of liquidity that's very close to the current price. We do have a small area of liquidity sitting at around 65,500 to 66,000, and a small level of liquidity at around 63.3k, give or take. And other than those short-term levels on the chart right here, we do have a little bit more liquidity at around 58,000 to 58,500, and we have a decent amount of liquidity at around $70,000, which we can actually see on slightly larger timeframes. But at least in the short term, as of right now, there's not a whole lot going on with the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, at least for now. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, and right now we're actually continuing to struggle around this level of resistance that I've obviously been warning about here on the channel, sitting at around 2.8k, which was previous significant support, obviously now acting as new resistance. But if we can eventually see a confirmed breakout back above 2.8k, then in that case we would likely see a move back up above $3,000, because the next major level of resistance, at least based on this Fibonacci retracement tool right here, is sitting at around 3.2k approximately. And as of right now, the 3-day RSI still has more room to the upside to see a further reset towards more neutral levels, which means we're likely going to continue to see a bit more of a relief here in the short term from this bearish trend. But remember, this can still occur during the larger bearish trend. That is a possibility, as we've seen time and time again during this very trend. But with that being said, if we're zooming into the short term, looking at the 6-hour time frame, right now the price once again is still struggling around this resistance at around 2.8k give or take. And obviously I said in my last few videos, I expect the price, at least for the next couple of days, to continue to struggle around this resistance at around 2.8k, which so far is playing out exactly as expected. But for as long as the price can just hold above this line of support, sitting at approximately 2.6k or just above 2.6k, for as long as the price is holding above that level right there, technically we can still repeat history, because right now we're still seeing pretty similar price action at the moment to what we saw back here. And so once again, for as long as the price is not creating any lower lows, breaking below around 2.6k give or take, for as long as the price is not doing that, then we could still eventually see the price continue to repeat history in a major breakout, potentially in the coming days. And now what I'm expecting over the next one day is honestly not the breakout, because I expect the breakout to happen potentially in around a day or 2 days or potentially 3 days, basically a couple of days from now, if we continue to hold above this line of support. So for as long as we're holding basically higher lows in the price chart here in the short term for the price of ETH, then we're likely going to see this breakout in the next few days. But either way, just over the next one day, I don't really expect this breakout, because we're still struggling around this resistance. At least as I've recorded in this video, we're currently just in the short term seeing a little bit of a rejection from this resistance, which means we're likely going to continue to struggle here just for the next day or so. And if we can eventually see that confirmed breakout back above around 2.8k, then in that case, we'll likely see a move back up towards around 3.2k. Once again, this resistance, but we also have this technical price target for this pattern if we first confirm the breakout, which would be sitting at roughly around 33.50, so just above 3.3k. But I want to make it clear that as of right now, this bullish price target is not in play at all, because we have not yet seen the confirmed breakout above 2.8k. So 2.8k is still acting as strong resistance, at least for now. And once again, if we start to see a breakdown in the price below around 2.6k, and especially if we break below 2.5k, then all bets are off for this bullish scenario here. Basically, the price would no longer be repeating history, and we're flipping more bearish again, likely going to retrace back down towards these local lows if we break back below around 2.6k, and more importantly below 2.5k. Those will be the points where we'll start flipping more bearish again in the short term. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, right now the price of Solana is struggling at exactly this area of resistance that I've been warning about, sitting in between around 159 to 163 give or take. So once again, right now that is the resistance to pay attention to, and obviously we are finding resistance at that area. But if we see a confirmed breakout above around 163, then in that case the next area of resistance to watch out for is sitting in between around 170 to 175, and above that we have a significant area of resistance in between around 183 to 187. And as for support, just in case we saw a further rejection from this resistance, we do have a major area of support right here, sitting in between around 139 to 144, and below that area we have a significant area of support down here at around 120 to 128. And we could also find a little bit of short-term support at approximately 154 to 155 based on previous resistance now acting as new support. And when it comes to the trend and momentum as of right now, the short-term trend and momentum currently is looking more bullish than bearish, but at least for now, we're struggling around resistance. So basically, we're currently within a bullish relief, but we're once again struggling around resistance. So of course, things do not move in a straight line. We often see obstacles along the way. But ultimately, when we're looking at the larger trend as of right now on this daily time frame, this is all currently occurring within a massive sideways price range. So the larger trend, at least for now, is relatively neutral with relatively horizontal highs and horizontal lows. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.